Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Page Media, where we're turning pages into platforms through meaningful conversations, authentic storytelling, and strategic visibility. I'm your host, T. Taylor, and today we're continuing our Building While Becoming series in celebration of Black Business Month, where we're going beyond the business to explore the journey, the lessons, and the person behind the platform. I am so excited to introduce you today to Teaira Curry, affectionately known as Coach T. Coach T is a motivational speaker, relationship coach, author, podcaster, and sexual assault prevention advocate. Alongside her husband, Coach G, she co authored Fed Up, Changed Up, Now What? And created a safe dating sexual assault prevention program designed to educate and empower youth and parents. Through speaking, coaching, and podcasting, Coach T uses the lessons from her own journey to help others recognize red flags, make healthier choices, and protect themselves. Her motto is simple: our lessons are your blessings. And if you've ever seen her on TikTok, she says that all the time. Coach T, welcome to Beyond the Page Media. I'm excited to have you here and to learn more about the story behind what you built.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
You are welcome. So, before we talk about the business you built, take us back to the beginning. Who was Teaira before Changed Up Now What existed?
Man, Teaira was hungry, ambitious, resilient, went through foster care. And I've dealt with a lot of crazy things in foster care. Some of the stories you hear about what goes on in there happened to me. Did
Mm,
have some good times too, but I had some things that shaped me. The things that put bumps in the road for me in there, it just kept adding more fuel to my fire.
okay.
And it just let me know it at a very young age that I wanted to be somebody great. I wanted to become somebody great. And so I was always considered the underdog, in school and in certain social circles and things like that. So I always knew that whatever I was able to overcome or learn to deal with, that I wanted to help somebody else. So I was doing it at a younger age, and then it grew into this. Um, then, of course, as an adult, it was kind of like I kind of felt like I just got thrown into things. It was like you got to do something. All of those things that you went through, you can't be embarrassed about it. Now, yes, you need to heal, but you need to do something about it because there's a lot of people out there that's going through what you're going through. So
Right.
I don't know. You asked me who was I before that. Man, I was really one of those people that rolled out the red carpet for everybody else but me. Because to be honest, even though I wanted to help people, I didn't see myself as worthy of anything back then.
Understand.
So I was just gonna be behind the scenes for the rest of my life. And this might sound sad, but it is sad, but but I'm good, y'all. But back then, before learning that I have purpose too, and I also operate a limb in the kingdom in the body of Christ, um, I just wanted to become a church mother and die.
Mm,
That's what I thought was
yeah.
going to be my reality in my end, because I just felt like church mothers, they're women of the cloth. They don't have a spot or wrinkle. Let me mimic them, mimic how they dress, how they act, and then I know I'm going to heaven based off of, because I know these women are holy. So let me mimic them. That was me. So you would always find me, a part of somebody's ministry or their dreams, helping behind the scenes, because I didn't think that I was worthy of doing what I'm doing today.
And what changed your mindset to help you realize that you were worthy?
Man, one of the things is death, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
When we have loved ones and old coworkers, old schoolmates, and things like that we learn about pass away, to me, it's a great reset. I believe there's always there's always some light in every situation. It's always a space to be optimistic and see the good in it. Yes, you miss your loved ones, but for me, it kind of takes me to a place where I'm like, what am I going to do with the rest of my life?
Hmm.
Am I going to sit on the sidelines and do nothing? Or am I going to actually, start going in the paint? That was
Right.
one of the things that made me. And then, becoming a parent, it just brings out something else in you.
Mhm.
It brings out that beast mode. And it's like, okay, my grandmother settled, my great grandmother settled, my mom settled, is settling. Is that what I'm gonna do? Is that what I'm showing my kids to do?
Right.
Somebody has to break that cycle. So
Agreed.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It's a challenge going against the grain of the norm, but I'm here for it. So yeah, things like that, man. Just taking self inventory, looking around at myself, like, yeah, I got to do something better. I got to do what I'm called to do because I tell people all the time, I was like Jonah. Okay, my nickname was Jonisha because just like Jonah, I was running away from the call. I was running away only to be placed right back at the starting point of where I should have been. So we think we run in, man. I used to sing and I used to tour. I used to background sing. I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna do because I wanted to be a sex symbol. I with my music, I would write my songs, had all kind of like meetings, interviews, events I was invited to. And I just wanted to be a sex symbol, dress on stage and in my little nice, sexy clothes and sashay around. It was easy money. So I got these contract offers, and one of them contracts was an eye opener. It wanted me to compromise my
Mm.
faith, and some other things. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I sat on that decision for about, you know, 3 days, but I was just like, nah, something ain't right. And I just started sitting back, and I was like, this ain't what God wants me to do.
Right.
Or I'm meeting with this big time A&R, and okay, you call me at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You sound intoxicated. You want me to come to the studio. But when I say, can my boyfriend come with me? You say no. That's how I know we not on business.
Right.
So I was just like, yeah, I'm running, but I'm not. So
Yep. It's amazing how we think we can run, right? Like, what is it in our mind that feels
yeah,
like we can actually get away from that calling? Okay.
leaning on our own understanding. But
Yeah.
after that, it don't take me too many times these days to go down the same road and get hit.
Right. Exactly.
Something's got to
Oh,
change.
yeah. Yeah, that lesson is not ugh, I don't want to go through that. So you shared that some very difficult personal experiences helped you recognize a larger problem and ultimately influenced the work you do today. How did you begin turning what you experienced into something that could help other people?
Okay, so when I was 18, I kind of was focused on two things. My love life, getting married. I just wanted to get married. I wanted my first boyfriend to be my husband. And then also my career, which was to become a singer. So I had, got some advice that if a man brings you around his family, that means that he really likes you. He wants to marry you because a man is not going to take the woman that he wants to marry around his family if she's not real, if she's just another, fly by night type of thing. So this guy I meet, he introduces me to family, and I'm like, okay. Um, and his cousin that he introduced me to wanted to meet like a friend or family member of mine, like a blind date type of thing.
Hmm.
And so I get a coworker of mine that I used to take her home. She was a single mom, and I was warned about her at work, to be careful because she had a name. She was very loose with the guys, but I didn't want to judge her. She seemed quiet. She seemed nice, and I just wanted to help out a fellow single mom. But I bring her to the party, which was a blind date, and we get there, you know, and my boyfriend, he made me breakfast, and I tasted the drink. The drink was a little funny. It tasted a little funny, and I figured because he's Jamaican, maybe that's just how they make their drinks. So I had my friend try it out. I said, "Don't this taste a little funny to you?" She said, "Yeah." Now he had left to go and pick up his cousin from the train station here in Atlanta. So, me and her, we just chilling, and she's excited to meet her blind date. They get back, and there was a moment where the guys we went outside to smoke, and there was a moment where the guys were separated. They were like completely. It was a huge backyard. They was on one side, we were on the other talking, and me and my boyfriend, we go back in. I'm drinking, I get down about half a can of beer. Now, I'm not boasting at all, but at that time, I could drink 6 cans of beer. And yes, I was 18, I was a youngster, but if I was like hanging out with my girls at the house or something, I could go through 6 cans. I get through about half. So my boyfriend and I, we go to the room to become intimate. I black out. And
Mm.
when I came to, his cousin that was supposed to have been there for my friend, was taking advantage of me. He had on no clothes. I didn't either. And I pushed him off of me, grabbed the covers. I go looking for my boyfriend for security, for help, protection. I go looking for my friend. Well, they're down the hall in another room. She is underneath the covers. She appeared to be clothed, but she's in the bed under the covers. And my boyfriend was sitting in a chair beside the bed talking to her. And when I came in that room, y'all, it was like you could cut the tension. It was something off about it. But I pulled him to the hallway, close to the bathroom, and I started telling him what happened. No reaction. And then I repeated myself to him. I'm like, your cousin did XYZ to me. And then he starts, just showing off and getting angry, acting, if you will. And
Right.
he's like, I got to get him out of here. I got to take him home. He's like, take a shower and relax. And I'm like, okay. So now when he left, I'm starting to tell my friend what happened. And I passed out again. I didn't wake up till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, sometime around there. And when I took her home, y'all, it was the most eerie ride. She just told me, T, you've been set up. And if she said anything else after that, I do not remember, but that's all I can remember her saying. So, of course, I was depressed, stayed in the rooms. The guys wouldn't answer my phone. The girl wouldn't answer my phone calls either. So my mom called from a different state. She was like, I got a feeling. Are you all right? I'm feeling something, I'm feeling a weird vibe. And I finally told her what happened. And I was like, well, I finally got in touch with the guys and I told them if we could take an AIDS test and everybody's negative, I won't get the police involved. My mom was like, no, you need a sexual assault kit done on you to see if you got anything. And you also need to get the police involved. So the detective was very sweet man, came to my house, picked me up, take me to the precinct for questioning, take me to the hospital for the kit to get done. And he kept asking me, like, was anybody there that could vouch for what happened? And I kept saying my friend was there, meaning the girl. And about a third time I said my friend was there, he said, ma'am, that is not your friend. So that's how I found out she was in on the setup. Um, and he had interviewed her. He couldn't get anything out of her. So coming to find out, you guys, that guy wasn't even his cousin. Um, it was all just they were friends. And I don't know why the girl did that to this day, but it happened. But I wound up contracting HPV, which is the human papilloma virus. And because of that, my cervical cells were turning cancerous.
Mm.
So I had to have procedures done every 3 months. On one of my procedures, a friend goes with me for moral support. And he proposes even after the doctor gives me the diagnosis and says what I'm up against. And I'm like, well, didn't you hear what the doctor said? I could die. And all I gave up for a second, I was like, ain't no man gonna want me. And I can't have children like I fantasized about in foster care because my cervix. He said, I don't care about that. So he proposed. And long story short, no more HPV, no more cervical cancerous
Praise
cells.
God.
We've been blessed to have 10 children. God is good.
Yes, He is.
And it took me a minute to heal from that. And I ran. Again, I had another Jonisha moment, y'all. I was running. I was embarrassed by it because I was the go to person all the time in any circle. So it took me a few years to heal, but I would say in 2017, that's when I started getting consistent, locking in, using my Facebook platform at the time and just coming on twice a week, giving inspiration, testimony, you know, because it hurts. Like if you could imagine something that you've overcome, and especially in dating, and if you see a young lady going through that same thing and it looks like she's getting ready to go down that same route, you're going to try to help her.
Mhm.
So it would hurt me to see other women going down the same path, not asking the right dating questions, not paying attention to the red flags, and being too trusting. And not only the guys we got to watch out for, some of these low down females too. So
Mhm.
I got fed up with it, and I said, I don't care what the church folks say. This is my past. I'm going to make this book. I'm going to come and inspire others. And that's kind of how it all birthed, you know.
Okay. Well, I love that you've been able to find the strength to tell your testimony because, like you said, is there to help someone else too. So I love it.
Thank you.
You
Thank
are
you.
welcome. Now, you and your husband now work together as relationship coaches, authors, and motivational speakers. What did it look like to turn the lessons from your own marriage and life experiences into a business you could build together?
You know what's crazy? So the first book was Fed Up, Changed Up. That was each chapter's about a different guy up
Okay.
until I met my husband. So we were like, because we've been together now 21 years and counting. So we would get questions a lot over the years. How y'all do it? How y'all do it? So after I finished that book, um, we was like, we told him about the single life. Man, we got to talk about the marriage because we hear a lot of people saying they want to be just like us. They want what we have, but they don't know what we went through. They don't
Right.
know what it takes to maintain it.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage is like a garden. You got to know when to prune, when to add the sunshine, when to water, da 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 da. Let's do a book on marriage. So I couldn't get the book title right, man. I was like, I don't know, sugar and spice. I don't know. And then my husband was like, changed up now what? So it's like a sequel to the first book. The first book is Fed Up, Changed Up. This one, Changed Up, Now What? So it was like, oh yeah. Because you fellow authors, you might brainstorm a bunch of titles, but when it's the right one, it just clicks.
It
You know it.
does. Yep.
Yeah. So we wrote, we very transparent. Both him and I co-wrote that book, that one, and then we put it together. But that is what birthed Changed Up Now What? That right there.
So, what was one of the because as married couples, especially if you've been married for a long time, we do get asked quite a few questions. What was the question that you got asked the most that you can remember?
Girl, do I know what creates kids? Yes, because I got a lot of kids. To be honest, a lot of our questions, it was like 50-50. It was either questions like for instance, I go to get my tag one day. I got a baby in a stroller. I got a baby in my belly. And the tag lady was like, "Why you want so many children?" She was like, "Are you married?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." "Oh, okay. Did you graduate high school or college?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, both." She goes, "Are all of these his kids?" "Yes, ma'am." "Does he have side children or no, ma'am? It's all within the marriage." And she was like, "Wow, you don't care about that no more. I am so sorry." So she judged me.
Mm,
So sometimes it will be judgment questions because we have so many children, and some people are not knowledgeable enough to know that even if you have all children by the same person, they can still come out with different shades of black.
right.
Some of them might be light brown, dark brown, red bone. Um, so people may automatically assume that some of them may not be mine or his. So we get questions like that. But as far as constructive questions or positive questions, how did y'all do it? I don't see stuff like that no more. Can you give us some relationship advice, even?
Hmm.
And matter of fact, when I was in college, that was very touching to me. A lady in her 70s that went back to prove something to herself and grandkids.
Aw.
Yeah, she was great. She found out I was getting married and she said, "Baby, can you give me any type of relationship advice?"
Oh, wow.
And I've had that happen twice. and it from somebody that was in their 70s, and it's just humbling. But those are the questions that we get mostly.
That is beautiful.
Thank you.
You are welcome. So, something you said earlier that it was difficult to learn how to pull out the red carpet for yourself. What does that look like for you now?
You know, I've definitely learned how to set boundaries, which helped out a lot. Um, I've set more boundaries with like immediate family.
Okay.
So that gave me more time to kind of smell the roses and tend to what I need to tend to for me. The other thing about it is just taking small breaks and being unapologetic about it. So, like, if I want a Starbucks coffee, with me, a lot of time it's the little things that count. Just taking a couple extra seconds to take a look in the mirror, to look at myself, to admire the little girl I grew up into, being a grown woman now, taking out more time to thank God for everything that you've given me. See, at first, I didn't have that time because I was too busy constantly answering my phone, constantly helping everybody else's events, never saying no.
Okay.
So now that's what it looks like. And now the only thing I have to work on now is just remembering that it's okay to pause.
Yep.
It's okay to take a break because we only get one of these
Right.
bites. So, but it
That
feels
is it.
good. It feels good because I had to realize that I'm a vessel too.
Mm-hmm.
God created me too. I don't have to. We shouldn't look at other people as if they're just the favorite child of God or the it person. Or we're all God's children. So that's what it looks like for me.
Okay. Good. Once and so piggybacking off of that, at what point did you recognize the pattern that you were creating where you were being there for everyone else but not for yourself?
When I kept being depressed, kept being extra stressed, it was
Okay.
like out of nowhere, I'm cool, and then 1 minute, boom. One time in particular, I had just had a C-section and my baby was super little. Of course, she was only maybe a few weeks. I'm trying to heal. I'm getting calls. Hey T, can I use your car? Hey T, can you take me here or there? Can I borrow this, that? And I had the depression postpartum. They
Mm,
didn't even notice that because they was so busy wanting something, and they knew it was a free ride because I was saying yeah to everything. I wasn't in my right mind. So at that point, I was just like, I'm killing myself, you
yeah.
know? So I got to do something because, so I talked to, I talked to an apostle, and I cannot remember that man's name, but he helped me out a lot. He said, what are your motives when you say yes to people? And I said, my motives. And I said, well, if I don't do this for them, they're going to say that she thinks she's all that. Why isn't she answering the phone? She's dodging me.
Mm,
He said, no, that's the wrong thing to have. And from then on, that's when that just opened up my eyes to realize the pattern and what I was allowing, and what some people, they were older than me, they should have known better, but they did whatever anyway. But that's when I noticed that I had an issue because he said, why do you do it? And I was like, to keep the peace.
yeah.
He was like, mm-mm. Because I'm
Right.
keeping peace with them, but it's
But not
all
with
type
your
of stuff going. Yeah.
right.
So, mm-mm.
Yeah. That's man, that's a whole word right there.
We live and we learn.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
Some take a little bit more than other, but hey, so one of your biggest business lessons has been consistency and understanding that the people closest to you may not always understand what you're called to build. How have you learned to keep moving when the support or understanding you expected wasn't there?
Wait, say that one more time.
Yeah, so one of your biggest business lessons has been consistency and understanding that people closest to you may not always understand what you're being called to build. How have you learned to keep moving when the support or understanding you expected wasn't there? When they're not there to support you? Like maybe if it's been family who, when you told them what your vision was or what God's vision was for you, and they didn't answer or respond or support in the way that you expected? How did you navigate through that?
Yeah, so I got you. So when I realized when when I went down that journey, it was when I did the first book, and I figured I would go to family and friends first and people I grew up with. And it was I was going to sell the book for $5, I remember. And my husband was like, absolutely not. That book is too valuable. There's too much stuff in it. And I was like, yeah, babe, but if I don't, the people I grew up with, they're going to say, $10, $15 for a book. Oh, no, I ain't even got it. So I said, $5. Everybody got $5. He
Hmm.
was like, no. So I bumped it up just a little bit. And when I was asking the list of people that I knew, it was kind of a punch in the face.
Mm.
I honestly didn't think they were going to say no. I thought that they were going to be happy for me that I did something with myself, especially after all the stereotypes, the things that people thought I would become, I didn't. So I'm thinking people would be proud of me. Most of the people, I would say 95, 98% of the people that supported me were non-family, non-friends. But then I would even say more friends supported than family.
Mm.
So it was one of those things where I just had to take it with a grain of salt. I didn't stop and stay too long on that.
Okay.
But as I got around more business people, I realized that it's a common thing.
Hmm.
It's nothing new. So I was just like, I'm doing this for a whole nother reason. I have my motives in check. I know my purpose. I know why I'm doing this. Thank God I wasn't doing it to make others happy
Right.
or whatever, because then I'd be really disappointed.
Hmm.
So it's just one of those things where I learned with that first book of the support, where the support was coming from. And I mean, there were times that, on average, I would get 400 views. I would get 400 people coming to hear my story, my testimony every week. So they was like holding me accountable, because I know
Wow.
even if I didn't do the show that day or had to cancel or something, I had the decency and the respect of my community to throw up a flyer real quick or post and tell them, hey, no show tonight, or hey, give me an extra 30 minutes, because there's people actually waiting to hear the next thing that's coming out of your mouth. So I started
That's
taking it
awesome.
serious, and it was one of those things where if you don't understand what I'm doing, that's okay. You don't
Right.
have to, but I'm doing it with or without your support.
Yeah. It's not meant for everybody to understand, right?
Exactly.
All right. So, one thing that you wish people ask more about are the humble beginnings. What part of the journey do people not see when they look at Coach T in the business today?
Again, they don't know. A lot of times people want to obtain stuff, and it's very easy to obtain a thing, but can you maintain it? You know, can you put in the work? Can you do it till you get it right? Can you stay consistent? The humble beginnings part is a part that I really love, because a lot of people, it's just like if you had a pie, and by the time you get to wherever the pie is, it's all pretty, it's nice, the plates are nice, the china is nice, but you weren't there for that process.
Right.
I'm not just there for what looked good at the end on anybody's story. I like to be asked about those humble beginnings. So it took a lot to get here, you guys, and not just for me. Um, Even for our lovely host here, even for some of your favorite influencers, it takes a
Hmm.
lot. So take them, go back and see how they started. Issa Rae is a perfect example. She said, go back and look at my beginning uh short movies. Y'all, she was right. The quality of the first sets of movies that she did in college, bad, very bad.
Huh.
But now look at her now.
Right.
So yeah, going back, I like when people ask me about the beginning, because it helps people that might be going through the same thing or something similar to know that you can make it.
Right. Exactly.
Hmm.
And with that said, going from the beginnings to where we're at now, where we have the nice, beautiful pie, what do you what do you feel like what would you say you are becoming?
I'm hungry now. I want some pie now. What am I
With the ice
becoming?
cream. Okay.
Yes. Oh my. Okay. I'm gonna calm down. Okay. So, what am I becoming? Who am I becoming?
Hmm.
Man, I'm starting to learn each year brings on new wisdom.
Hmm.
Definitely each decade. So I just turned another, chapter. I just turned 40.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And I am becoming, that's a good question.
What lessons have you learned while you're becoming?
Well, in anything that you do, consistency is key.
Hmm.
That's the big one. I didn't have any consistency at first. I was 250 pounds. And when the doctors told me I had faced health issues unless I got rid of the weight, I lost that weight.
Okay.
What I found out about consistency then, you can pick whatever weight loss program or fad that you want. If you're not consistent with it, you're not going to lose the weight.
Right.
So it's the same thing in life with our businesses and with the things we're trying to achieve. So consistency. I also learned why a lot of my family threw in the towel. I stopped being so judgmental and I realized that they had dreams too. Some wanted to be nurses, architects, this, that, but life happened. Bills
Yeah.
stacked up, you get left. You think somebody's going to marry you or help you build and they dip or you dip or so I stopped being so judgmental and I learned why they left. I learned. So I was like, again, I'm breaking the cycle. I'm going to keep going, you know. So it helped me to have more compassion for people because I used to have absolutely no patience for grown folks. I'm like, you're grown. Kids, I have patience, but adults, I'm still working on some of that
Me
patience,
too.
y'all.
Me too.
So you understand.
Yes.
But I have a lot more compassion because I
Right.
realize we all have different upbringings and things that shaped us. So, I'm trying, but yeah, I think I'm becoming the woman that both my grandmother and my great grandmother wanted me to become, who they saw me as, because they would push me a lot. And even when I didn't see myself worthy, they would push me. And I think that they saw something special in me, in which later they told me that they did. But I think I'm becoming part of that woman that they saw. They never saw any limits on me from what I could tell. I
Hmm.
was the only one that saw the limits on me.
Yeah.
So now that's breaking and I just feel like I'm evolving into who God wants me to be. People told me I should have stayed doing the singing that I was doing and then switched, but that's not what God wanted me to do at that time.
Right.
So that's who I'm becoming.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
You are welcome. So, faith is clearly woven throughout both your personal journey and your business. How has your faith shaped the decisions you've made while building, especially during seasons when you couldn't see what was coming next?
You know what? I've learned to trust God no matter how it looks, smells, feels, appears. We have to trust God. It was around the pandemic that God told us to change our focus from being business coaches to relationship coaches and to switch the platform we were on. We had already been building from Facebook since 2014. I used to come on doing like a Saturday old school church song, and people were
Mm,
looking forward. 2017, I locked in and I started doing the testimonies
okay.
and the singing. So I got all of these people that has supported me. Some of these people then hired me to speak at their events. I've got clients from here. And I'm like, why would you want me to switch platforms? Why can't I just keep my show here? I would interview people on there, split the screen, and bam. We had some great people on the show in the beginning. But I said, I trust God. It did not make any sense why he would have me to switch. But that was the thing that people needed help with at the time. that
Okay.
he wanted me to help with, because that's something that we get asked. So, by request, what I found out is, even though I'm primarily focusing on him and I, my husband and I focus on helping people's relationships, it is still people, they will ask me to, hey, can you help me publish my book? I'm helping two people right now, with their publishing their books and creating their covers and editing and all that good stuff. So I didn't really lose anything. It's just people from the past, that were with me from the beginning. They know that I have the ability to help a person publish, so they'll ask. But if it don't, sometimes it won't make sense. But we have to just trust God that He knows what He's saying and what He's doing. He has the master plan. He
Right.
knows way better than us.
Right. I like to say that we're the ones that don't know. He already know. He already
Yes,
wants. We're the ones in the
absolutely.
dark. So yeah, most definitely interesting. I completely agree with that. Now you brought this up earlier, but I just wanted to reiterate. So you're currently working to expand your safe dating and sexual assault prevention work into schools and events. What do you hope that work ultimately changes for the people and communities?
So for the communities, I hope to create more dialogue with the parents and the youth, whether the child is in high school, middle school, or even if the child is in college. So the course that we have is designed to help bring people together. So, for instance, if it's a mother and daughter, that mother may have never shared her sexual assault story with her daughter, because back in the day, the older our generations get, back in the day, they were told what goes on in this house stays in this house,
Yeah.
be seen and not heard, and all this little stuff, which
Mm-hmm.
created trauma. It never healed anything. It just kind of swept things under the rug.
Right.
So this course, I'm hoping that it brings families more together to sit and talk. There's even a part in the course where they're going to pause and they're going to have an intimate talk. They're going to let it all out about what happened to me. And hey, did anything happen to you? I'm not judging you, and you want to let the other person know you're not the blame, and you want to create a safe space. So I'm hoping that it will create the dialogue, instead of people just, because if you would know, if you knew the amount of assaults that never get reported, it will
Right.
blow your mind. Okay, the results right now are alarming, but if you knew how many people have never said anything.
Right.
So that's what I'm hoping that it can do. And at first we were just going to keep it in the underprivileged communities and then kind of go around to the others, but we realized that this is going on and it's affecting every community, not
Right.
just the underprivileged. But so, yeah.
So with your relationship and then the sexual assault and then even with the was it the it's still going on with the relationship, but with the red flags you mentioned as far as dating, the red flags in dating, what can you name like just a few quickly for our community?
For dating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's see. I believe that God always shows us red flags. It's up to us to accept what it is He's showing us.
Okay.
Don't think you're overthinking something. If you start to get a feeling deep down within, don't ignore that. Pay attention to this feeling that might be telling you to back off, or to listen more. If you heard something out of context, if you heard something like, don't say, I didn't hear what I hear. I mean, I didn't hear what I heard. I didn't see what I
Mm-hmm.
saw. Trust that. Yes, you did. Okay. Don't be afraid to date. I would say date, be leery of a person that wants you to come to their house on the first date. Now, not everybody is sideways, but some people are.
Right.
Always tell somebody where you're going. I don't care if you're an adult. If you can't get in touch with somebody, text them or leave a voicemail. Email them if you have to. Tell them, hey, I'm meeting up with this person. This is the address. Bam. Meet somewhere in public. I say that because you want to be on camera. You know, a lot of the smaller details are very big in the event something happens to somebody. But If you know, like, don't be afraid to date. So when you're dating, let's say you go out to dinner, listen, there's a lot of red flags that can come out in the conversation, even harmless ones. If you want to get married, you want to lock in, but he's telling you clearly he's not marriage material right now. Don't try to keep forcing that man and pressing your agenda on him. If he's not ready, don't even push it, because you're going to have a miserable marriage trying to get him on track with your belief and what you were ready for.
Right.
But definitely discernment is the biggest red flag, y'all.
Yes, it is.
They will show you. You just have to listen. You have to be watchful.
I love it. Great, 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 great tips.
Thank
You are welcome. Thank you so much, Coach T, for showing up so openly and honestly today. Your story is exactly the kind that reminds us why these conversations matter. Could you please tell our viewers where they can connect with you and support your work?
Yes, so you can come and visit me on TikTok. I'm very active on there, locking in on the platform. It's at the Curry Crew. And also, if you need to email me, you can do so at changedupnowwhat@gmail.com. Sometimes people have situations with sexual assault and they need support, they need direction and resources. You can do that there. And also, if you want any information on joining our emailing list or courses or things like that, in either platform, whether you DM me or whether you email me, you can get in touch with me there. Website is under construction, but it will be back.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you again for your time and for giving us your wisdom. And it's been wonderful talking to you.
Thank you.
You are
It's
welcome.
been great. Very, very great host. Very good
Thank you.
ministry. Great questions. Everything. The whole nine. I love
Oh,
it.
we love it. We love it. To our Beyond the Page media community, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this conversation so it can reach someone who needs it. Until next time, keep writing, keep rising, and remember your story matters.